Fabrizio, good to see you again. Welcome back to Popternative.
Good to see you. I'm happy to be here.
It's been a while. I'm trying to think of the last time we spoke. I think we spoke for something like a horror movie on Blumhouse thing. This was a long time ago.
Hmm. Must have been Black as Night.
Yes, it was absolutely. One of the things I love about shows like Running Point is I feel like it kind of creates kind of this like debate among friends and family about what kind of show it is. Is it a show that is a comedy that has sports and basketball in it, or is it a basketball show, sports show that has other things in it? Do you think about that when you're cast for something like this?
I think it has so much to offer. I think it is all those things, no matter which way you want to spin it, right? I think it has the family dynamic, the dysfunction, it has the business of basketball, the drama of it all too. It's and I mean, not to mention the comedy. At any point, there's just so many levels. You know that there's so many different stories within this series, from the basketball players to the family that owns it, the business side, the people that we work with, Jackie's story, it's all, there's so much going on. So yeah, it's all of those things.
In terms of conversations that kind of happen when you officially go to production on Running Point, there's going to be the conversations with your cast members. There's going to be conversations with the writers and the crew. Are those conversations similar? Are they different? Specifically on this show, like what are those conversations like with cast and crew? And are there different kind of mindsets when you're talking to your cast versus a director or showrunner? Like, I'm just curious about that for you.
Well, I I think that I must say our showrunners are super cool. And you know that our showrunners have a couple of our showrunners have a background in acting themselves. So I feel like are really looking out for the actors. They know how to talk to us. The collaborative aspect of it all is one of trust. I think that we all show up wanting to do our best, wanting to be funny, and it's kind of like we're all doing what benefits the show,
Yeah.
not just kind of what benefits the individual and getting a line in there and blah blah blah. It's kind of like just doing it all as a team. The conversations on set, honestly, were extremely playful. It was a playful energy. I mean, we were getting our work done, but I mean, I think it's healthy to just laugh, and the things that come out of that really, I feel like, bleed into the show.
Mhm.
Everyone's in a good mood when we're there. Kate's setting a really great tone. Yeah, I love the team I work with.
Amazing cast. It's so funny too. Like Scott MacArthur is always, even before I got a chat, like he's one of the funniest. Like every time he's on a show, I'm in. You know what I mean? He's like one of the funniest guys.
I can't wait for people to watch Scotty. I was watching a show with my girlfriend the other day, and it's directed by one of our directors, and I was like, hey, one of these directors directing a couple episodes from the show, and she was like, so is your show like this? And I'm like, yeah, it's funny, but you got to think we have Scotty, and she was like, you're right, and she hadn't really seen Scotty on screen. She just knows Scotty as a person, and
Wow.
she was like, yeah, yeah, your show is gonna be really good because
It's
Scotty's
a
doing this.
thing, man. Scott MacArthur factor, 100%. Of course, the Fabrizio Guido factor as well. Let's be honest.
Thank you. I hope my girlfriend's watching the show for me as well.
Well, it's interesting too, right? Because I love your story. It's cool because your storyline's interesting because I find it cool when you see a lot of like in the beginning of this interview we established has a little bit of everything and you can look at it from different angles, right? You can look at it as a basketball show. You can look at it about a show about, family, friends, life and everything. And the self-reflection component really kind of stood out, especially with your character storyline, right? Figuring things out, taking it day by day. And I'm wondering from an acting storyteller perspective, is it more fun or challenging to play these lost characters, figuring out, doing self reflection? Because from the viewer perspective, Fabrizio, they don't know they're lost, right? So I find that interesting. So what do you think about that specifically?
Hmm. Um, as far as it being more fun or more challenging, I feel like I wouldn't know how to compare. I think I find the fun in some of the challenges, you
Ooh,
could say.
yeah.
I enjoy that. Uh, I think as far as Jackie being lost, I don't know if it's so much lost, but definitely in a vulnerable moment.
Yeah.
I think in general, it's just hard for young person Jackie's age to start trying to find themselves,
Mhm.
right? Aside from the fact with everything going on with Jackie's family dynamic, and then coming into this new kind of family dynamic with work, and I won't spoil it, but I think that in itself is already balancing a lot.
Yeah.
I have a lot of fun playing Jackie. I loved what I learned from Jackie. I think Jackie's a is a heart is a
Mhm.
heart person. So yeah, I had a lot of fun.
And last question before we wrap up, I do find it interesting because you look at your amazing body of work, you've gotten to kind of dive into a lot of different worlds, but you've played a lot of different characters. And I'm just wondering for you, from an acting perspective, how separate are past projects compared to something like Running Point for you? Like, do you bring mindsets or preparations from stuff like Mr. Iglesias or Good Burger 2 to something like Running Point, or they're completely separate once you wrap them specifically?
I think unintentionally the experience will, kicks in. I think I've learned a lot from the past projects that I've done, especially something like Mr. Iglesias, where, it's a multicam and you really get familiar with comedic timing, and although it's different from like a single cam like the one I'm on now, you really start to learn how to find you in that moment. You find angles within the lines that you're given when you're doing something like Mr. Iglesias. I will say that everything I work on is always a new experience for me. I find something new. I'm sure you've heard many people say
Yeah.
that. It is a different character, so I'm getting to discover different things about the character and new things about myself, or old things about myself that I'm bringing into this character.
Yeah. No matter whether you've been on a set one time or, hundreds of times, you're always going to learn something new. There's always going to be different things, like you said, that you're going to bring from set to future
Yeah.
projects. On Running Point, what were some kind of learning experiences that that on top of your head? I'm sure there's a lot, but anything that comes to mind that you'll bring to future jobs as well, Fabrizio?
This was a really, really fun experience in the sense that I was given so much good material. And I feel like I was excited at the opportunity, and I was like, all right, I'm really excited to jump in there. And I knew what I wanted to give and what I wanted to bring out, and what I wanted to do with Jackie. So it was that opportunity in itself had me in this position where like, dude, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to jump out. I'm ready to get there every single day. As far as learning, I don't know if I've quite really thought about what
Mhm.
what it is that I learn. Honestly, it's just been me um, thinking about these really good memories and moments that I had on set opposite this amazing cast, and
Mhm.
watch them and be in awe of their work. I will say I did learn kind of showing up with uh, with a lot of confidence that I think Jackie
Yeah,
naturally has. And just, leaving doubt kind of at the door. I feel like as an actor, you can be very critical sometimes.
yeah,
And I feel spending some time with Jackie was like, hey, let's be optimistic, and you can do this, you can get this done kind of mindset on this one.
for sure. And then, yeah, my last actual question too is, and if the answer to this is no, I'll go to music. But are you a sports guy, a sports fan? Like, do you like sports?
Oh, I am now. I feel
Yeah.
like
Okay.
that.
Absolutely. So I find it interesting, right? Because you're an actor and you're on a TV show that has to do with sports and everything. And it's the same where there's an actor that's on a show about music or something else. I find I've always been fascinated with that kind of cross pollination of TV, film, and music and sports, where there's athletes and musicians that love their favorite TV shows. You're playing Jackie on a show about basketball, but you're a fan of sports and everything. I don't know if it was maybe with this show, because maybe you're, like, maybe like people from the basketball world, or like, you're meeting them at like events or anything. But like from your acting career, when did you officially start seeing that kind of cross pollination I'm talking about specifically? Where like, there was like musicians that like sports, and there was that, like, you know what I mean by that? Like, I find that interesting. You know what I mean?
No, it was actually very like as soon as I found out I got Running Point, I was off to the races and trying to, learn everything I could about basketball because Jackie is a fan of this team.
Yeah.
I I instantly fell in love with like I don't know if it's like the gossip of basketball.
Yeah.
meaning like just like the trade rumors type of situation, like not necessarily the players' personal lives, but
Yeah.
like the stats and like who's where and who's going where. And um I chose up my team pretty quick. I became a Laker fan pretty quick. And I learned a lot about the game through this. I think Brenda Song was really a key piece in keeping that enthusiasm. She loves sports, and she has this enthusiasm out. She honestly should have a talk show if she wanted it, but she really guided me in that sense, and I'd get there every morning and talk to her about these kind of things. I have wrapped season 1 of Running Point now. It's been well over a couple months, and I'm still watching basketball. I am still watching basketball documentaries on Netflix. I'm halfway through Quarter Gold at the moment. I love the sport. I'm going to a game tomorrow.
Amazing. And I can't wait for people to check out Running Points Worldwide on Netflix. Good to see you again, man. Thank you so much for your time and all the best.
Hey, thank you so much. It's good to see you.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.